In Vero Beach, back in January, a 14-year-old boy and two friends are hanging out in his bedroom. After midnight, police say the teen pulls out a gun, and while the friends mess around with it, the gun goes off. The 14-year-old is shot in the stomach, shot by the same gun police say he ordered online.
He'd come out of his bedroom and told his mom he had shot himself accidentally.
Paramedics arrive, but the teen dies en route to the hospital. The case, a wake-up call about the web's market for weapons, according to Vero Beach Police Chief David Curry.
There's no winners in any sense there. There's a mother that doesn't have her child. The boy lost his life, friends are without their friend. It's just a preventable, tragic accident.
You feel this was preventable?
Absolutely.
The teen in this case has never been identified. Investigators wanted to charge his mom with negligence, saying she should have known her underage son had a weapon, but the state attorney's office declined to prosecute.
He was apparently receiving the parts.
Showing us the firearm, Curry saying the teen got it easily online. It's what's called a ghost gun, bought piece by piece and assembled by the owner. The chief pointing out these small holes he says the teenager drilled near the grip and trigger of the gun to make it fire. Because it's built from a kit, this gun has no serial number, and investigators in Vero Beach were never able to trace exactly where it came from.
And it comes to your home without a serial number, untraceable. You put it together and you have essentially a firearm.
We wanted to see how easy it was to order ghost gun parts. On website after website, we looked at ordering a kit to build a pistol or an assault rifle. No background check necessary.
So some of these websites we're on, they ask for my date of birth, but there's nothing to verify that it's my real date of birth other than the honor system. As a law enforcement officer, does that concern you?
Absolutely, it concerns us. We're okay with guns in the hands of people with good intentions and that are allowed to have guns, but we're not okay with guns in the hands of juveniles and criminals.
It's not a toy.
The problem is everywhere. The ATF saying 20,000 ghost guns were seized by law enforcement last year alone, many used in crimes from coast to coast. Like here in Oakland, California, the chief of police there releasing this video showing a shootout in broad daylight. Both men, police say, using ghost guns.
Someone on a terrorist list could purchase one of these guns.
President Biden promising to crack down on these undetectable weapons, directing the Department of Justice to create a rule requiring each gun have a serial number. A good start, but not far enough in the eyes of local gun safety advocates like Kelly DeVito.
This is a good step in the right direction. I would like to see eventually a law pass at the federal level, and we've also had legislation at the state level here in Florida that unfortunately did not go anywhere this past session.
But legislation is a tall order and likely to face fierce opposition from gun rights groups like the NRA, who called the president's recent ghost gun rule hollow, saying it will do little to stop violent crime sprees plaguing American cities. All while people caught in the middle, like Chief Curry, warns something needs to change.
To order something that's untraceable without a serial number and without a clear understanding of who I am on the other side of the computer, I think that's broken right there.
And there's a big push in the ghost gun community to buy some of these weapons before that new Biden administration rule goes into effect. One website we found has this: a countdown, days, hours, minutes that you have left to buy one of these virtually untraceable firearms. And there's no telling how many of these weapons are already out there, because a lot of the websites that we find some of the most popular items there are always sold out. I'm Jay O'Brien, CBS 12 News.
Ryan Rogers and Semmie Lee Williams didn't know each other before the night of the 15th. Williams left behind a pair of headphones where police found some of his DNA. According to the arrest warrant, law enforcement already had his DNA in a criminal database given an extensive arrest history. The DNA in the database and from the headphones was the same. When they found him in Miami, he had a green backpack, in it a bloody bandana. On that, they found matches for two people, Semmie Lee Williams and Ryan Rogers.
It appears to be an absolute chance encounter between
a child on a bicycle and an animal that probably should not be out on our streets.
Rogers was stabbed several times in the head and neck around 7:30 that night. His body found in the woods about 10 yards from the sidewalk the next morning. In the days that followed, an anxious community tied up red ribbons in Ryan's honor, signs calling for justice. This memorial has been a show of support for Ryan Rogers, but the community wants to do more because at night it's pitch black out here and they want to change that. Sometimes it takes something devastating to spur change. And for change, you need support. It's a fight Audrey Becker isn't sure she'll win, but it's worth fighting for.
We want Central Boulevard lit up at night for safety.
Under the cover of darkness, Ryan Rogers was stabbed to death along Central Boulevard right before it passes over I-95. At night, the only lights on Central are from transient headlights. The random attack happened at 7:30 at night by a man police say Ryan had never met. Ryan's body wasn't found until the next day after the sun rose. Tess Cena remembers that morning.
I saw all the police activity and I thought it might have been related because I had just heard that he was missing. And then I found out later that it was related, and I haven't been down this street since then.
She used to take daily walks here with her 3-month-old baby. Now that there's been an arrest, she's comfortable walking here again. She supports adding streetlights.
It's pitch black here. I could easily imagine how I thought maybe he was hit by a car because there's really no visibility. And, you know, for such a nice area, you would think that there would be some streetlights.
Audrey at first did her work in the shadows. She's the once anonymous woman behind these red ribbons.
That was his favorite color.
She knows being heard, being seen can make all the difference.
You've been really active in terms of you got the red ribbons out, now you're doing these signs. What's inspiring your activism in this case?
I don't think that we should be quiet about it. We need justice for someone who was killed in our neighborhood, and you can't be quiet about it. You know, we have to make a difference, and I feel like I can do something about it. I could draw attention to how he died and maybe prevent something horrible from happening to someone else.
Adding lights can be a complex process. Central Boulevard here is owned by the county, so they would have to approve it. And then it's a question of funding. I'm in contact with the mayor of Palm Beach Gardens, County Commissioner Marino's office, whose district this is in, and the TPA, Transportation Planning Agency, about the prospect of lights here. As soon as I learn more about the prospects of actually adding lights here, we'll be sure to bring it to you. In Palm Beach Gardens, Andrew Lofholm, CBS 12 News.
Heidi Elias keeps her daughter close to her heart.
There's something inside of you that won't let you believe that your child is gone.
At 91 years old, not a day goes by that she doesn't think about her daughter, Randi Gorenberg.
Oh, I think about Randi all day, all night. Whenever I see someone that looks like her, I think it's Randi. Whenever I see a daughter kissing a mother that come here, I think there's no question about it. She's every breath I take, it's Randi.
Randi was a loving, energetic mother, sister, daughter, and wife. But on March 23rd of 2007, when Randi left for the mall, it would be the last time her family saw her alive. It was a Friday. Randi left in the morning to buy clothes for a night out. The 52-year-old mother arrived at Boca's Town Center Mall around noon. Just about an hour later, surveillance video shows her leaving the mall with shopping bags in her hand.
And that surveillance video is Randi leaving the mall from the area of the Sears store, going out into the parking lot.
Detective William Springer with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office says Randi was heading towards her black Mercedes SUV. But then the cameras go black and Randi is gone. About 30 minutes later, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, gunshots are heard near the entrance of Lawtown Child's Memorial Park.
Witnesses observed a black Mercedes SUV pulling in. They heard gunshots and observed a woman falling out of the passenger side of the vehicle.
Heidi had spent much of the day volunteering as a chaplain. When she came home, she turned on the 5 p.m. news and saw a woman had been shot and killed near the Civic Center.
They didn't know the identity of the woman yet.
Heidi soon learned that woman was her daughter.
And the phone rang, and it's my son-in-law, her husband. As we drive into her driveway, I see police cars all over.
Heidi saw her grandson crying, and that's when he told her.
And I'm walking towards him, and he says, "Mommy's dead, Mommy's dead." I couldn't believe him.
It's been 15 years, but Heidi still thinks about the case. Suspects have come and gone, but the pain from her daughter's murder will last forever. In 2007, Randi's case made national headlines when months later, another mother and her daughter were kidnapped in a dark SUV and taken from the town center mall here at Boca Raton. There was one additional kidnapping that same year from that same mall. Luckily, this time, no one was killed. PBSO says the cases have never been connected in Boca Raton. Lena Salzbank, CBS 12 News.
Coming up. The National Safe Boating Week comes at a perfect time. It's the week right before Memorial Day weekend, which is probably one of the biggest boating holidays of the year. So we have anywhere from a 50 to 75% increase of boaters out on the water during this weekend. How you doing? One of the things we like to focus on is safety, making sure everybody has the proper safety equipment, they're operating their vessel in a safe manner. We're definitely looking for individuals boating under the influence. We want to keep everyone safe. This is one of our high violation areas. We have several slow zones, we have manatee zones here, and it's a pretty narrow canals we have, so individuals who are speeding or going in excess of the posted speed limit can cause a hazard to other boaters as well. You gonna be out on the boat this weekend? The recreational boater, you wanna make sure your batteries are fully charged, you wanna make sure your bilge pumps are working, you wanna make sure you have life vests for everyone on board. One of the biggest things we see on this holiday weekend is people are rushing to get to the boat ramp and get out on their boat, and a lot of them are failing to put in a drain plug. And they may not notice it when they get out to the ramp, they may notice it 20, 30 feet away from the ramp when the boat starts to sink. The number one thing is just safety. Make sure your boat, the equipment is properly maintained, make sure everything is working, and whatever you do, just don't drink and drive.
Type IUD into the YouTube search bar, and pages of videos with thousands of views comes up. On TikTok, the IUD hashtag has more than 672 million views. Videos of doctors educating women about the product and even women reviewing the product for their peers. Thousands of women have reported serious health issues regarding their IUDs, while others say it's made their life simpler and better. To reiterate, doctors warn, do not try to take an IUD out on your own. If you do have one and want it removed, talk to your doctor. We also found out that Planned Parenthood can be a good and affordable resource for information and help. Now, we did reach out to Paragard for comment. They tell us they don't comment on pending litigation, but are deeply committed to providing safe and high-quality products in compliance with FDA requirements. For the I-Team, I'm Stephanie Valderrama. CBS 12 News looked at what's currently being posted on the app. As you can see, a lot of car break-ins, crimes that officers say often go unreported.
This is a pile of the base layer in his backyard that he broke apart and took out in March. This is the artificial grass rolled up. Here's what his lawn looks like today. Code enforcement says he's in compliance, but back in April, they came by and took photos and said he wasn't in compliance, and that's when the $25 a day fine started.
Meet Sushi. She's a true pandemic puppy, returned by her owners after they decided that they could no longer take care of her after returning back to work. Sushi had trouble socializing with people and with other dogs.
Touchdown, App State. Races pass complete to number 17. Number 44, Braden Novice, for the extra point attempt.